Hey everybody, welcome back to another Wednesday evening live stream. I'm here with the shower door professionals, and you know us. We do this every Wednesday about 5:30 Pacific time. If you're watching in the Facebook group and you want to join us here in the Zoom call, you can do that. Go ahead and click on the link that's in the description there, and you can come on in and join us. That's going to be fun. You know, today we don't have any special guest speaker. So we're just going to kind of kick it old school like we always used to in the old days and just talk about whatever we want. So it should be fun. I know you guys probably have some things going on or just some questions you want to ask the group. So feel free to just jump on in there and start a conversation or ask a question.
So I got a question. So recently, I started. I bought my own coating product. I've been using the Diamond Seal system, and so I'm kind of don't know what to charge customers. Mm-hmm. So I talked to Brandon and a few other guys, and because it's really lucrative if you use it right. And so I'm just wondering how do you guys charge? You guys charge per panel or square foot, or because I'm into it already. I have plenty of product. It's just I don't want to overcharge or undercharge.
Right.
So to me, I charge $150 for the first panel and then $100 per panel after that. It's just it's a big jump, especially when they're spending $2,000-$3,000 already on the shower unit.
Exactly. That's a good question.
Greg, what did you use prior to that?
I was using Diamond Fusion from Old Castle.
How'd you charge for that?
I doubled it.
Oh,
so I was paying $236 a square foot. That was for both sides, so it's like $1 something ish for one side. But they didn't do just one side; they always did both sides because just in case. So, anyways, I was paying like $236, and I'll just double it from there.
Okay.
Because it's an extra, an upgrade something. So you charge for it,
Oh, you should. Absolutely. I think you're charging spot on. We don't even do the 150 for the first one. And then we give it some leeway at, like, if you got a door and a very skinny panel next to it, we may charge them $50. We may even just
and that's what I was thinking too, like a little 4-inch panel like that. I can't see myself charging somebody $100 for that. Maybe half off. Half off, or don't even include it. It's like I just throw it in, as a freebie.
Yeah, like sometimes if the door is just a little too wide for one door, so you got to put a little panel there. Well, hell, if they did one door, you would have charged them a certain amount. You wouldn't have charged the panel. Yeah. So they're paying for a panel with all the edge work, right? So why pay for that? I think you're spot on, and you're going to do very well with that product.
Okay. Now, it's a very good product. I already made my money back, and now everything I have, it's all profit now.
Yeah.
So it's a good product, and it's very good.
What kind of labor time do you have in doing a panel? And what are the challenges with keeping it clean, in terms of your environment and your shop? Is it if it's dusty or talk about some of those considerations?
Who are you asking that to, Mike?
Well, I guess whoever wants to field it. Adrian's doing it right now, but if some of your other folks are doing it, I'd be interested in hearing that comment as well.
Adrian, go ahead first.
Oh, how much per panel for what? Like to install or?
No. Just like, what do you have in it labor-wise? You get in a piece of glass in, and you're gonna coat that. That whole process in terms of time, labor time.
I just charge. I charge
$150
$150 for a first panel, and each additional is $100. So that's
what
all it is.
he's asking, how long does it take you to panel?
Yeah,
That's the first
Oh,
question.
like 10 minutes. Doesn't take that long.
And
Like
then-
no, the whole shower unit. I did a little in line with the return today. It took me about 10 minutes for the whole thing. So not that long. It's an easy wipe on and wipe off kind of system. It's pretty easy.
And you
First, you gotta prep it. You gotta clean it. Put the coating on, and then they have another part that's called liquid diamonds. It's another part I put on to give it extra protection. And that's it. Wipe it down, and that's it, and walk away. Put it on
you
the truck,
coat
let's go.
that. You coat that in the field after you install it.
Oh hell no! I did it one time in the field. Oh man, I swear to God, I almost went to sleep. That stuff is hella strong. I thought it was like it was bad. I was like, I was seeing dots, polka
And how
dots.
long does that have
it was
to
real.
sit then? If you coat that at the shop before you load it on the truck, how long does that
Yeah.
have to sit before you can handle it?
2 minutes, about 2-3 minutes.
Oh, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not that long. You wait, like you put the first coat. You gotta wait like 2 minutes, and after that, then you put the other treatment they have. You put that on top, wait about 2 minutes, and then you just wipe it, clean it, and put it on the truck and go. So and it's pretty quick.
So I had 3 discussions this week with different guys from this group about that. And Adrian's spot on, and it's no pun intended. And it's a great product. Now, Mike, it's not like you need a clean room or anything, but you certainly don't want it in a certainly dusty environment. But you should have a nice table to put it up on so you can get an application out. You can do it flat, or you can stand it up in a rack on an A-frame. So you can do it either way. Now, when you're doing it manually, you won't coat both sides. You don't need to. Diamond Fusion sticks it in a cube and they spray it, right? So it's automatically going on both sides. But when you're doing this process, you don't have to do both sides, but you do have to be conscientious of what's inside and what's outside, right?
Any special application tools, or does that come with a package, or the the product when you invest in that?
Not really a tool, just a wiping, certain cloths to wipe it and apply it with. So there's an applicator pad. You start off with cleaning it. Like he said, you're going to use alcohol and water just to get your fingerprints and oils off the glass. Then your first coat, let it dry. The second coat, and there's actually a third coat that gives it a high sheen and a good repellent quality.
And that's what I use. I use that high shade one. I
Yeah.
use both.
You mentioned fingerprints. Is it possible to put this stuff over the fingerprints and seal the fingerprints in?
Yes, that's why you want to clean it. Yep,
Okay.
Yeah.
it is possible.
Hey, you're asking about like application, and I actually came up with a pretty cool tool. I mean, I found one. It's this right here. It's a Rubbermaid. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's got this microfiber. Here, I'll spotlight myself so I stay in. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. So it's made by Rubbermaid, and you can actually put like the liquid in here and like
Oh
a
wow!
little sprayer thing that you can pull, and it sprays a little nozzle onto the glass. And then this is a microfiber pad that's got hook and loop that you can put on and off. And man, I've been using these things for years. I don't know if they still make them. They probably do, because I can still get the pads, the replacement pads. But I have one for like the A, the number one. There's like a number one and a number two if you're doing it the professional way.
The XP.
I have separate ones for A and B, and I actually have a third one just for alcohol, to clean it, and I'll use like a lot of alcohol to like. I found that the biggest problem with treating was like getting the residue off at the end, because if you send the glass out and it still has some residue, it'll pick up spots like a magnet. It actually almost like does the reverse of what it's supposed to do. But if you get it super clean before you send it out, it's awesome. And so if you can find these things, they work great I usually don't actually put the liquid in
Chris.
them anymore. I just like spray it on with the spray bottle and then use this, but it lets you like get a little bit of pressure, you know, which is good to kind of buff it. So that's my little tip.
Freaking Chris, that's awesome, man. I'm gonna Amazon that thing so I can find it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have it. I use these things right here. I just bought me a bunch of these blue little pads.
Oh yeah,
And I
those
just
are
use
great.
them. I just use those and that's it. You know.
There you
So
go.
Bill, do you have the Diamond Fusion Cube then? Are you
No.
using that in your
No, they've been trying to get me forever.
plant?
No.
I did it. We love it. We got the small one, the Express. So it holds 5 of them and does it in like 10 minutes. But I don't know. What's holding you back?
Um,
On the spot.
a number of things. No, a number of things. It's not that it's not a good product. It's a good product. It is. Space, number one for the cube, because we can do this just about anywhere. And with this product, we could do it in the field if we wanted to. You can't do that with a cube. You'd have to bring it back and put it in the cube. That's
Well, we
one.
have the manual stuff too. So we'll bring the manual stuff out to the field.
Okay, so you can do reapplications if you want later on. But by doing it this way, we just found that I've got a guy that's checking in the glass. He's handling it anyhow. He's doing the sizes and dimensions. So instead of then putting it on a rack, it's almost like a harp rack that goes in. You get a chance of chipping and scratching when you're doing that. We put it up on a Groves table and we're doing it horizontally. So we're not doing it standing up unless we're out of space or we have to do it in a hurry. Then we're putting it on an A-frame or an L-buck, doing it there. Mike, getting back to your other question, you just got to make sure you're not in a heavy dust environment because you don't want to actually put that on the glass in it. But most shops that I've seen, it's not a problem. It's not like you're making laminated glass and it's got to be so dust free and you're worrying about electrostatic electricity and capturing it between the glass. I'm shocked that more guys don't do coating. I really am.
So
Yeah.
from a selling point, you know, I heard you saying the 150 per panel or you know, and then one or for the initial panel and then 100 after. But so your guys are selling this a la carte essentially. You know, if here's your shower, if you want the coating, add X per you know, just something like that.
Yeah. But you know, you got to, like everything else, you got to sell value. You got to make them know it's worth it. They, like Adrian said, they just spent thousands of dollars on the tile. They'd probably got ultra clear glass to make it look good. Why would you not put something on there to protect it? It's like getting a Mercedes or something like that. You're going to put the best coating on there you can to protect it. It's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Really
It's a good
coating.
and it's a good, what do you call it? Something to have to just let's say you have a builder or someone that has multiple showers, you know, you can use that as a leverage to get the job. Okay, well, if you got like 3 or 4 showers you're doing in the house, I'll give you the coating for free, you know, or I'll do it at no cost. You know, that might sweeten the pot. So, okay, you know what? Okay, here's a check, get it done, you know. To me, I look at it as that too, especially when it's already paid for itself. And right now, I'm out of the red and making money off of it now. So it's like, you know.
I know, but
I think,
don't get in the habit of giving it away.
I'm not.
Value. Well,
I'm not.
You're cheapening yourself. I wouldn't give it
Well,
away.
How? Yeah, but yeah, so you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Bill.
you know, Cameron said in the chat message that we just add it to the price and then remove it if they want to, looking for a better deal. And like that's kind of what I did for years. I just built it into the price, didn't give it away. People thought I was giving it away. I was like, I never gave anything away. I was adding it to the cost. And just saying this is included as a standard feature. That's what I said. Diamond seal treatment is included as a standard feature. And I was charging them for the coating, and I was also charging them for a bottle of the cleaner and a squeegee or whatever I was give away, you know, microfiber cloth or whatever. Build it all into the price. Then like Cameron's saying is like, if they were like, oh, how can I save a little money? Well, you know, you can take the coating off. You can just leave that off and it'll save you, a couple $100. But what I found was that like people didn't want to give it up. I mean, they were like, so it's like, oh, how can I save money? Well, you can just delete that. Well, I don't want to do that. And it's like, yeah, of course you don't. You want to keep that. So yeah, you don't have to give it away for free. You can figure the cost in. And then yeah, if they want to leave it off, they can save a few bucks that way. That's just what I used to do.
So if Cameron does that, let me ask Cameron this. Do you automatically put low iron in it too and then back that out and give them clear instead?
No, we do. Clear is kind of pretty much our standard. I'll offer to quote it out both ways when I'm there with the customer, and I've got samples that I show side by side.
Okay, and if they came out and picked up a specialty handle or something, so you offer specialty handles as a standard and back it out to a standard handle, or do you give them a standard handle and upgrade it for a specialty handle?
The latter. So we'll offer just a standard 8x8 C-pull handle as our standard, and then offer if they want to go like a Victorian style or ladder add on like $100 or what have you.
Yeah. So I'm curious, and please don't take it wrong. I'm just wondering why you only treat the coating that way, as opposed to any of the other options. There's probably a reason, and it could be a good one.
Yeah. So the reason is a lot of people, at least in my area, my competitors, do the same thing. So we just kind of, just to stay competitive, just build it into the price. And I always tell it as, hey, this comes with all of our showers. We highly recommend it. And I'll kind of hint that it is an add-on, but I really sell why you need it, because if you're going to spend all this money on, this brand new shower, why not protect it? So
sure. No, and that works. It works. I was just curious why you treated that one differently. But you're saying it's based on what the market is doing. The other people are doing the same, so you want to be in that same ring, right?
correct. Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
And that's not a bad question, Bill, because it's like, why not? Why not do that? And I mean, I would often do that same thing. It's just, put together a pack, especially if they're not being very specific. And a lot of times customers aren't. They're like, yeah, I want a shower enclosure that goes in this space, and they don't really have a very clear idea of exactly what they want. And I would just build it like Supreme Deluxe model, and be like, okay, yeah, for 1/2-inch Starfire glass, all of the, best, you're looking at this. And maybe they go, wow, can't afford that. Well, we can use 3/8 glass, or we can use just regular clear glass. But surprising how many times people will be like, okay, when can we start? I mean, why not do that?
Mm-hmm.
And it depends. I mean, a lot of times people say, our market really can't handle that. And that might be true, but you may just only think that's true. I mean, a lot of people do things because their competitors are doing it that way. And a lot of times that's a big mistake. You want to differentiate yourself from your competitors. If everybody else in town is doing this, why not do something completely different? Everybody thinks that if everybody's doing it this way, I've got to do it this way too. And I built my business on a completely different model than that. I built my business on a model of doing things completely different than all my competition, so-called competition. Because really, I mean, if I'm completely different than everybody else, do I really have competition anymore? I don't know.
Chris, your point has got my head spinning, because there's all of this research on, at the movie theaters, they have the large, medium, and small, and everything is priced to make you excited to buy medium. So if we were out there doing, here's low iron, 1/2-inch, cream of the crop, and then here's, I don't know, semi-frameless garbage, then they're all excited about the 3/8 and they think they got this great deal. I think there's some serious psychology behind that.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know.
Shannon, and that makes sense, but it depends on the configuration of the shower and what you're talking about, correct?
Yeah.
Certain doors don't even give you those options of applications. If they've already picked out their style that they want a slider and you're limited where you can't even do 1/2 inch based on what they want, then you're
Yeah.
limited to, do you want to go 3/8 or you want to go down to a 1/4 inch semi-frameless or something like that? So
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. It depends on the product you're selling.
Yeah, if it wasn't too hard, I think that every layout, every configuration they were thinking about, we probably all tend towards this middle. But if we were to say, okay, on this configuration, what is the ultimate most that this person could possibly do, and put that pricing together, and what is the absolute least this person can do, and whether it's a handle or channel or clips or low iron or whatever. The thing is, it would make bidding take so much more time unless you had a really, robust, quick method of doing it. But, we always kind of tend towards what we think they're probably going to want. And we potentially lose by not upselling them. We potentially lose by not giving them the lower option. So I don't know. I'm just rolling around with this, Chris.
Right. Yeah, and I prefaced the whole thing by saying too, remember, it's like, if they're not being really specific about what they want, if they're just like, hey, I don't know, I just want a shower door, they really don't know, they're really not sure. They're kind of giving you like carte blanche, to offer them anything. And you have to read the room, right? I mean, it's like if you go into, if you're in a rental, you're not, there's no point in even going there, or if, they're not really remodeling their whole bathroom, they're just replacing their shower door. There's really no point in going there. I don't want to try to sell somebody something that they aren't going to love, So, I mean, I don't want to sell somebody anything that they don't really want. At the end of the day, I want them to be stoked, when we're done. So yeah, you have to, it's case by case. But in that case where you really realize, wow, these people have some money, they've got a nice home, they're spending some money, and they're not really asking specifically, why not offer them the very best that you have to offer? And then they'll come back and say, hey, can we, value engineer this? Oh, absolutely. There's lots of room for that, and then it's pretty easy to just kind of step them down, one thing at a time, still make a good sale.
I find that they don't really, at least they don't ask me to kind of step down the price. They just simply have already gone with somebody else by the time I find out that they would have gone with a lower price. So how do you handle that?
Well, Brian and Chris, the same thing. It comes down to basic sales. They may not know what they want, but that's our job to try and get it out of them and ask questions and educate and point them in that direction, and then get a feel of it. And there's a lot of key questions you can ask. You don't have to come out and ask if they have a price budget. That they're going to put their back up right away, but start feeling around. And by asking key questions, you'll kind of get an idea of what they've been spending in the rest of the bathroom, what kind of faucets they're getting. So you want to start by, what kind of finish do you need? When you get a customer that says, I'm using polished nickel, you already know that they're a more upscale. They've already been educated into that. So that gives you, like Chris says, you're reading the room now. They're giving you a blatant key that they're already upscale right there. Now you want to say, okay, they want polished nickel, they want that look. They're probably going to want low iron. They're probably going to want maybe the slider with the glass header, the Phantom. Maybe they're going to want this or that. But it's certainly giving you those keys. So as a salesman, instead of rushing to get a sale, start asking the questions to the point where they're laying out a path to the door that they're going to get.
Right. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. And there's a strategy too for being, offering a lower price. I mean, like some people, that's their strategy, is to, not be the highest price guy. Right. And to sell, quantity and make money that way. So, I mean, it's never one size fits all. But if you're somebody who's wanting to position yourself as kind of that luxury, high end, if that's the clientele you want, then that's kind of the way, one has to think, when approaching it. And yeah, you're going to lose the tire kickers. But if that's the model you're setting up, you'd want to lose the tire kickers.
Yeah.
Right.
They may come into now. A lot of you guys are selling off the follow-up app, and you're not even, talking face to face to the customer. So you don't have as, you're giving them a menu and they're choosing themselves. And lots of times they don't know what they're choosing. There may not be a good enough explanation in their terms to know what they're getting. So the face-to-face selling is where you're building the relationship and you're getting that information quickly. So again, what platform are you using to make the sales? Is it face-to-face? Is it showroom? Or is it simply off a phone call where they're shopping price and really don't know what they're buying?
And that's something I find is if I ask questions, then they want to price on shower guard, they want to price on EC10, they want to price on just clear glass. So now you're pricing three ways. You see what I'm saying? So I guess
But that's okay. What's the matter with that? At least they're asking you instead of walking away. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, when I show them low iron, they say, oh, I don't want to pay the price, but the gal always comes back and says, that's what I want. So yeah, when you ask questions, now you're bidding three different ways, maybe four different ways, 1/2 inch, 3/8, shower guard, whatever. But that's not bad if I had a sales crew of 4 guys doing showers all day. But when I'm bidding 22 showers a week, all of a sudden, it's hard for one guy to stay on top of that. That's kind of,
Yeah.
so.
And again, it depends on what you want to do and how you run your business. There's nothing the matter with follow-up or an automated thing, if that's what works for you. But you get the opportunity when you're asking the questions, and then you ask them key questions and they open up themselves to you. What's important to you? It sounds like, price is an issue. It sounds like quality is an issue. It sounds like you're looking for something of quality. Maybe they didn't have a quality door in the past and you're upgrading. So that's where the face-to-face, you can start getting them to say, yes, now I got somebody that's listening to me. They'll open up and say, yeah, my old door, I just couldn't stand this. And now you've got the solution for it.
And like Chris said, you read the room, so to speak. Where I live, a lot of people are on wells. So it's all hard water, a lot of minerals. So it's easy to sell the upgrade.
Sure.
If somebody has a well, they'd be crazy not to go with something sealed. But yeah, that's good. Thanks for you guys' information on the DFI and the Endura Shield. How much does that product cost? I mean, does it come in liquid form and you buy it by the gallon, or at 55 gallons in Bill's case?
Some of them do. There's different products, but yeah, they come in, liquid form. And that fuse cube that Shannon was talking about earlier is pretty cool, because you just load your glass into this container and it pumps in like this gas form of the treatment, and it just treats it. The thing I like about that is it treats both sides of the glass. And really it's like, it treats all sides of it. And the cool thing about that is a lot of times if you order it from the factory or from your supplier pre-treated, it's really easy for them to treat the wrong side.
Yep.
And then when that happens, it sucks, because then you have to treat, in the shop, you have to add treatment to the proper side. And sometimes you don't catch it till you're out in the field, and it really sucks doing it in the field. I mean, it can be done. It's not terrible, but it's just, it's inconvenient and it's a bother, so, but if you get both sides treated, then you never have that problem. And it's kind of it's a cool thing. I get, I was getting a good deal on that. was just because I had that issue with a supplier where I'd get it and it's like, oh yeah, they did the wrong side again. And they said, look, we'll give you a special deal on doing both sides. And then like Adrian's saying, you just pass the cost, along to the customer. It's valuable.
Now, are there with that treatment, the diamond seal treatment, are there certain silicones and sealants that will not adhere to that product? I would imagine there are.
Good question.
There may be. I haven't run across one yet.
James
Okay.
said that the nanotechnology, whatever, and the silicone are in the same family, so it all goes good with each other.
I've noticed
Okay.
that tape doesn't stick to it very well. So if you if you're used to like masking when you caulk, that's tricky because masking tape does not want to stick to it.
Yeah, it depends what tape you use. You're absolutely right, Chris. We went through 3 different types of tape to find one that works perfect.
What did you find?
As the green painter's tape.
Oh yeah, that like frog tape.
Frog tape. Yeah.
Cool.
Frog tape? Oh.
That's good to know.
It's more expensive, but it works good. And some of the blue ones, the 3M blue one will work good.
You guys tape your glass before siliconing?
Depends who's installing. You get a good experienced guy, you don't need to. You get a newbie that wants to do a nice one. Yes, we'll tape it.
Let me polish my nails real quick.
Is that polish or silicone?
Both.
And a beautiful shade it is.
Do you feel like that coating contributes to maybe this issue with some of these hinges slipping, with especially with a wall mounted hinge? Obviously we've experienced that more than I care to mention, but do you think that contributes to less of a grip with that rubber in the glass?
That's the thing. You have control of covering your hinges. I don't know. I get my glass from Oldcastle. I don't know if they cover their hinges, but I cover mine now. So the tag that I get from them, my glass, I cover my hinges with that, and then I wipe. So I have control of not pitting coating out where my hinges go.
Mike,
So
I can't answer because we don't use wall mounts.
I'm veering away.
Yeah.
I've been doing a few of them, Bill. I'm trying to go that way too, but it's kind of hard.
Yeah, all I was going to say, I can't answer that. I would imagine it does, right? It's less friction.
Mhm.
So it's got to play into it, even if it's just 1%. It's got to play some factor in it. Yes.
Yeah.
Good point. I think if you clean your gaskets really well, with some alcohol before you use them. I don't know if anybody ever does that, but
I never do, but
will really help those things.
Yeah, but you're still putting it on the coated glass, Chris, is what he's saying. No matter how clean you put the gasket, you're still putting on a glass that's coated.
Yeah.
As opposed to a non-coated. So once the nanotechnology gets in, you have the covalent bond, you get a different scenario.
I'm sure.
Our fabricator.
You should do a study.
We etch the hinge pockets on ours. Sometimes we'll sand it down in the shop just to help with that, because we've seen that DFI for whatever is super slick, and it's cut down a lot on having to go back and do adjustments.
I will say this: we've done some that customers provided, or we got called out and they had it on. You got to be careful with that when you're carrying it in certain conditions. If it's slippery on both sides, you got to be real careful with it. Whereas if you're only coating one side, you get at least a better grip.
That's true. Yep. So getting back to pricing on that. So how many people use like a square foot price for treatments? Does anybody do that?
I do.
You should start off by asking how many people are selling coatings.
Yeah, how many people are selling coatings?
I sell it.
Half of
For
us?
sure.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, here in North Jersey, the water is very hard.
I use shower guard all the time.
Yeah, you're a shower guard man.
Yep.
Yeah, I do
I'm,
too.
I'm,
I put
yeah, I'm
shower
mostly
guard as
shower
well.
guard. Yeah. That's my top coating that I sell, shower guard.
So that means you're getting a Guardian glass?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my manufacturer, my supplier.
It's already done.
So Brian, do a price analysis of your shower guard and see if you took a door and panel, a single door, I don't care what you do, a set of sliders, see what your square foot price is on your glass that you order and compare it to shower guard in that same. So if it's 3/8 clear, 3/8 clear with shower guard. See what your price difference and then compare it to something like what Adrian's doing. Or you can call Shannon and see what DFI would cost her, just to get an idea.
Right,
Now,
right.
you may
Okay.
you may not be to the point where a DFI makes sense for you at this point,
Mhm.
but looking at what Adrian's doing by hand coding it, because you do have a shop and you could do it in-house before it goes out to the shop, you may find that advantage is huge doing it yourself. And the reason I say it, and I don't know if you've had any experience with callbacks on the shower guard product, but I was one of the first shower guard guys, and Guardian was terrible at replacing the glass for us. Terrible. They wouldn't do it. I
I
bought
had
my
my-
glass from Coral.
Yeah, I had my first one, my first claim put in for a defective panel, maybe, I don't know, it was an ongoing claim for a little while. I went and changed it out maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I think the customer had been going back and forth with Guardian for, I don't know, maybe 6 months before that. But I mean, they were, for my limited involvement in the claiming process, that whole process, I mean, they were pretty good. The guy reached out to me, said, send me an invoice for the replacement panels from your supplier and your labor to go out and charge them or change them. And I mean, they sent the check right out. That's the only claim I've ever had. So they were pretty good. And it helps me a little bit in my area because I've become a registered dealer with shower guard. So they have the opportunity, they can go to the website. I have a link that they can go right to the registration form, and then it kicks them over to the rebate page. People tend to, their eyes kind of light up when you tell them, like, listen, once you register this, you're available, or for a $25 rebate. I mean, it's only $25, but you tell people you're getting a little money back on the shower that you just bought. They love that, So it's kind of giving me a little bit of an edge, I guess. And some of these other guys that say, yeah, the glass is coated, but their confidence and ability to stand behind the product that they're selling is not quite the same as mine. And I found that kind of helps me along and kind of helps make the sale. It's been working out pretty good, but to be able to, when the price point is a little too high for them, to be able to say, hey, listen, if this is a little out of your budget, you want to try and kind of get closer to a target number that you have, we can dumb down the coating to a lower grade and save you a little bit of money. To be able to offer that option would definitely, I don't think it would hurt me at all. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point too, because I know Tim, uses shower guard, I think, exclusively. And so there's a reason why some guys are sticking with that. So that's kind of a good counterpoint to this whole, applied coating thing. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, Tim, about your experience with that and why you've gone that way?
When it first came out, I only had a 10-year warranty on it. And when that stuff came out, I wasn't a firm believer in this coating stuff. So I put it in my house on a tub and let it go for 30 days, with 2 girls using it, and went back and cleaned it, and it came clean. I mean, they recommended cleaning with a soft scrub and a blue sponge, and it's been clean ever since. So that's why I tell my customers it does work. And that's why I stuck to it. And I've seen all this other stuff at the trade shows throughout the years, so I just, I've always stuck with it. I've never gone any other route.
So you just sold on it from your personal experience.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if it was, it's not broken, so don't fix it, right?
And it comes coated. I don't have time to sit here and coat it, or have my guys do it and screw it up.
Mm-mm.
And I know there are some customers who demand it. That's what they want. They want the shower guard. They don't want diamond seal or diamond fusion. They want shower guard for some reason.
I had one customer that he wanted it. He did research on it, put it in, and 3 years later the shower pan failed, so we went back, take it out and redo it. It's this stuff's great. I love it. I want it again. And that guy never touched that shower since day one. He never tried to clean it. It was all soap scum and everything else. And we put it back in the same way. Or with shower guard again.
There you go. Well, I see over in the Facebook group, Dana Higginbotham is kind of lurking over there, making comments and stuff. So he's been saying that they charge $5 a square foot and $75 minimum per panel. I saw Shannon posted to the chat that they're charging $75 a panel, just period, flat out, right? Regardless of the size. So I think a lot of people are doing that, are just a per panel price. But I know you can charge like $10 a square foot. I know you can, if you want to charge it on a square foot basis. But $5 a square foot, I think, is a pretty safe way to go. And $7,500 a panel is pretty easy to do. Anybody else?
To do shower guards, you have to buy from a Guardian distributor or Guardian fabricator. So not everybody has a Guardian fabricator in their area, correct?
Yeah, PPG makes Claire Vista, which is equal to that shower guard.
Right.
So yeah, if you have a PPG supplier, you could get the Claire Vista. It's the same process.
Okay.
Do they have the same warranty?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much the same.
I see Cameron says he gets from HMI, but is that for a shower guard or for something else, Cameron?
Yeah.
That's for a shower guard. I actually just had my HMI rep in here yesterday, and he was pushing that.
So HMI is getting their glass from
Guardian. Yeah, the flyers and all his materials all said Guardian on it. I have a Guardian distribution center not too far from us, but I haven't really done a lot of business with them, so I'm not entirely sure, how to get glass from them yet.
Have you noticed the color? Have you noticed the color difference in the glass?
No, we haven't. I know my dad had a couple orders a few years ago, and never had any issues with it, but I haven't gotten anything from them. Normally it's always just DFI for us.
Yeah. So I noticed that if you had to do a replacement panel of one that was not shower guard, so the originals were shower guard, because our original manufacturer was a Guardian one. I used to get it from Coral, and they were shower guard, and they broke a panel, and you replace the panel and you put a new panel in. There was a color difference, not just of the glass, but the fact the coating was different.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I never heard of that.
But it's going to be a rare case where you're swapping out one panel where it's side by side to match it. But yeah, there is a little bit of a difference. But hey, there's a little difference too, just on glass itself. Never mind the coating. But the coating does accentuate a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, you can order the same glass from the same supplier, and on two different truckloads or look a little different.
They could, but that one supplier could be getting.
I lost your audio. I don't know. You're just saying that other supplier, and then you went. I lost your audio.
Dude,
It's killing me. The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, Bill.
We'll come back around. Don't lose that. Don't lose that.
Well, one thing I want to mention, is he back? Are you back?
I don't know, am I?
Yeah, you are. We can hear
You
you.
are.
You're back.
Okay,
Welcome
go ahead.
back.
No, some suppliers, especially when it was a shutdown, they couldn't get glass, had to get it from another supplier, right? So even though you think you're getting it, let's say a fabricator like Coral, if most of their glass was coming from Guardian, but during the shutdown or when there was trucking problems, they had to get glass. So they would have got it from a different black company.
Yeah.
So don't think because you get it from that fabricator that all the glass is coming from the same source.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you going to say, Brad?
Yeah, one of the challenges I have is I sell an awful lot of low iron. I'd say 20% of my stuff is going to be low iron. And then you also have glass coatings and so forth. Sometimes shower guard, and shower guard is already kind of high for the 3/8 low iron. But if I have to go to 1/2 inch low iron shower guard, it's exorbitantly priced, and I do a lot of 1/2 inch as well. So that's where the glass coatings, I think, also shine. That, and you can also retreat them later if somebody was to complain about the performance. So for that reason, I like to do coatings, but so that's just one of the challenges if you're doing a lot of low iron and some 1/2 inch and that sort of thing.
So you make a good point. Shower guard does the covalent bonding, but it's baked in, right? So it gets tempered in.
Oh, yeah.
And they have to temper it with the coating side up on the oven. And sometimes they make a mistake and the coating side's down, but now the shower guard gets on the rollers. So sometimes you get panels of glass with these stripes in it, and you're wondering where they came from. It's because your glass was behind somebody else's that was on upside down, and that coating came off and then got put on your glass. And you're saying it's because of the Kevlar rollers that are going around.
well,
And
they put a sacrifice coating on that thing that burns off and it burns.
it's supposed to. That's correct.
Yeah,
They do.
because if
They
you
do.
get a piece of shower guard, it's sort of got like a gray look to it.
Right.
And
Exactly right.
furnace that burns it off.
But the one thing I found different, and Tim, you may not recognize, if you've only used shower guard, not used any other coating, you may not know the difference. But the hydroponic repellent of a coating is by far superior than shower guard. Shower guard does not repel the water. It protects the seal, it seals the glass and protects it, but doesn't repel it. So at the end of a shower, there's still dots of water on there, water spots. They won't damage the glass. It'll always be able to be wiped off. But you're going to see a lot more spots of glass on a shower guard one than you would with a good quality coating, because the coating has a higher repellent value. So you're going to have much less dots left.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So I noticed a big difference in that.
So the question I have is, how are you guys selling this? In other words, what are you telling the customer that, what are the benefits of it? So that's what I mean by how are you selling it? What are you telling them about what it does and why they need it?
Good question.
We tell them it's a low maintenance product, not a no maintenance product. And that's exactly the way we say it. It is a low maintenance. That doesn't mean you buy it and never clean it.
No.
Right.
That's like saying you buy a car and you never have to wash it. That's not the case. But it seals the glass and it keeps your investment protected so you won't ruin your glass. You won't get the minerals embedding into the pores of the glass. The lime, the calcium, even the soap left over after you shower cannot get into the pores of the glass. The more you repel off of it is even better. so that if you didn't wipe it or squeegee it down, you'll be able to clean it off later. But there, with the coating, you have less of it to worry about than you would with a shower guard. The shower guard's still going to protect the glass, but you'll have more of the water spots that you'll have to wipe down. But we sell it that it's a low maintenance product with keeping, and it's investment to keep your good looking shower looking good. That's how we
So-
sell it.
If the customer then asks you, well, why is the shower guard, more expensive product if it's not as good? Because you kind of imply that the hydrophobic coatings actually is performing better.
I have a simple answer, and quite honestly, I think it's the truth. That is a Guardian product. They developed it. They can charge what they want.
Yeah.
Hi. Coatings are a competitive market. When you have a competitive open market, the pricing will fluctuate. They can benefit from that. But Guardian has to be tempered in. This one doesn't have to be tempered in. I just find that it's a easy sell. If they get that deep into asking it, I find it's an easier sell. And I can only do it because I've experienced other ones. I went through Enduro Shield. I went through, I have not used Diamond Fusion. I've seen it a number of times at the show. Sydney's probably called me 15 times. But I haven't used it myself. But these other coatings I have used, and I have been one of the first shower guard people in the country. And I find a higher success rate with the coating.
Bill, I missed it. Which coating do you guys normally use?
The DFI, like Adrian's using, it's really good. It's Diamond Fusion.
Okay, yeah, that's what we used to. I just didn't know if you were using a different one. Yeah.
Diamond Fusion, yeah.
I mean, is there an argument to be made that the shower guard is more robust over the long term, even though it's not as hydrophobic? I mean, could you argue that the coating is more hydrophobic, like you were saying, Bill, it repels the water spots more, but nobody claims, well, I may be wrong about this, but I don't think any of the people who sell the treatments claim that it will last permanently.
When you do a covalent bond, that's a scientific process that seals the pores of the glass. Like when they make glass, right? If you look under a microscope, because it's made of sand, ultimately, there's little pores in there. But the covalent bonding seals those pores. I would not make the argument that shower guard is a better product. I wouldn't.
Not even longer lasting, maybe than really?
Covalent bonding. Once you covalent bond it, it doesn't come apart.
It's permanent.
Ever. Yeah, it is. And then the added benefit is the extra repellent of it. You know, the fact that it has what they call a higher degree of repellency.
Angle of attack.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's why.
So what about Cardinal?
reference
Is that
degree.
the C10 I've heard is that Enduro Shield? Is that correct?
So C10 is their branding, right?
Right.
Say for Cardinal and 10. I don't know the product they're using. I don't know. It could be Diamond Fusion. It could be the Cube. I don't really know. They just call it that. I don't call it Diamond Fusion when we sell it. We brand it separately.
Right.
So I don't know
That
what
makes
Cardinal is.
I don't know if they're all the same product, just with different labels. I mean, I don't know how much difference there is between one chemical and the other. I know it was developed for NASA or by NASA, I think.
Yeah.
Like back in the 80s or something. And then and then it became commercially available. And I think the Diamond Seal people. No, let me see.
Yeah, you're right.
I think they may have been the first ones. The Micromed might have been the first ones to actually bring it to the market. So there was those guys. Then Diamond Fusion was right there. I mean, they were right neck and neck. I can't remember exactly, but if I'm not mistaken, I think the one was just a little bit ahead of the other. And I don't know how much difference there is in formulas. or how much they've changed over the decades.
Now, I was talking quickly, but I'm using Diamond Seal with James,
Okay,
right?
right.
If I said DFI, I'm wrong. I'm not using the DFI cube.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
that I
that's
was-
the
I'm using
the
Diamond Seal.
Micromed,
Yeah,
the Aiken brothers.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the product that I'm most familiar with too. Now, but when I've used different kinds.
What is the warranty on it? Is it a lifetime warranty
For what?
Yeah,
Right.
it's a lifetime.
Yep.
for the Diamond Seal?
Yeah,
Yep.
because once you covalent bond it, it's lifetime.
Yeah.
And if the water's adhering to the glass, you can put a coating over it and you're repolishing it basically by adding another layer of repellency.
And is there a registration process that your customers can register the product in the off chance that it did fail in the future?
No, that's where I think it was Greg that said when he uses that you sign up and or maybe it was Cameron, I forget, where you register it with, you said it, Brian, right? You're registering with
Shower Guard.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it was you. Yeah. No, but you can make your own registration product. I mean, basically, when you're doing the coating, you become the one giving the warranty, not those guys. You're the one that's giving the warranty. So you just, in your accounting system, you look up the customer, you look up the invoice. Did they buy it or they didn't buy it?
Mhm.
Well, Diamond Seal, they send me door hangers to hang on the door when they're done.
Yeah.
And pretty much in the back of the door hanger has a little website. They go onto, they register the coating, and after that, if any problems, anything they have problems with, they call them directly and they walk them through the steps what to do to get the hard water off the glass. And they'll send them a kit too. They'll send them a home kit. They'll use that and take off the hard waters. And then talking about the kits, I got a few here that I bought a dozen of them. I'm already sold out. I sold them. Pretty good product. People love it.
Do-it-yourself kit, right?
I got them here. I got I got 2 left, but yeah, I sold. Almost sold out.
That's awesome.
It's a really good product, guys. I mean, it's very good. I mean, I stand by it. I mean, I've been using it for about a month now. I would not go back to the other guys. This is a really good product.
Agree. It is a good product. Yeah, I agree.
What product is it?
Diamond Seal.
Oh, the Diamond Seal?
Mhm. Yeah.
And you can make a shitload of money. Excuse my language.
It's easy.
Do it
It's
right.
easy to get into because that you can buy a small amount, and you don't have to go in for a lot of money or whatever. You don't have to buy like a 55-gallon drum or whatever. They'll sell you a little bottle. They're really easy to deal with. If you want to try it out, it's an easy way to get started.
You guys should look and see how much of the glass that you sell that you're selling with coatings. And if you focus on increasing your sales in that, you will see not only your revenue sales drive, but your profitability drive. Because now you're going to a house, instead of going to a house with a $1,500 shower door, you're going to that same house with a $1,700 or $1,800 shower door, and your margins will get better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a simple thing to do. You just have to be focused on selling it and show the customer the value.
Love it. That's right. Well, hey, I'm going to post a link in the chat to the podcast guest link for people who want to be a guest speaker. So if you want to be our guest speaker on one of the upcoming live streams, just go ahead and click on that link and fill out the form. We'll line you up to come on and talk about your expertise, or even if you know somebody else in the industry or an adjacent industry, someone who has something to offer to people like us. We'd love to have them come on and talk. And we're going to continue to line up guests, in the future. So thanks for showing up tonight, and hope to see you again next week. Have an awesome week.